Welcome everybody, Corey here, and it's time for episode 4 of Shutter Priority, and in this episode we're going to be taking a look at Harman Phoenix II 35mm ISO 200 color film because it's British, so they have to have the U in it. Yeah, obviously this is the sequel to Harman Phoenix 200 original, which came in the orange box. That's because the film had a very strong overall pronounced orange cast to the whole thing, especially in 35mm. I shot both 35mm and 120 of the original a few months ago, and I was really struck by how strong that orange cast was, particularly in 35mm. It was really strong. I was shooting at the Rose Garden in Mickey Grove, and I couldn't even really pick up on a lot of the natural rose color because it was just so fucking orange. On top of that, there's an enormous amount of halation because there is no like anti-halation layer to my knowledge on this. It has a more or less transparent back to the film. The base of the film is basically transparent. And so, yeah, it's got halation out the ass. And so that orange cast seemed to be much stronger on the 35mm than on the medium format, which I also shot not long after that. I shot that with my Olympus 6 out in the country, and maybe it's just because there wasn't as much orange stuff going on, but I didn't notice anywhere near as much of it. It was still there, just not nearly as strong. I found it actually looked a little bit more balanced. So my understanding of Phoenix 2 when they first came out with this a while back, I forget when it came out, I think it was 2024 when it came out. Might have been late last year, or it might have been some point last year. I know that recently they came out with a 24 exposure version, and it is available in 35 and 120 as well. My initial understanding of Phoenix 2 is that it was going to be a little bit more balanced, and they had a little bit more of a blue hue to it, hence the blue color, but that was mostly, from what I understood, to counterbalance that orange, so that way everything would be a little bit more even. Not going to be perfect because Harman is still kind of working out. You know, they're new to the color game. I mean, Harman, if you don't know, is the company that makes Ilford, and so their main history is all in black and white. Ilford did do like Ilfo color, but they didn't actually make that. That was made, I believe, by Orwo. So this is all kind of brand new. So they're still figuring it out. But at any rate, yeah, let's take a drive and see how this works out. I will say one thing though. My photos did come out a little bit overexposed. So when you do see these sample images, it's not normally going to be that bright. I don't know exactly what happened there. I think I was mostly shooting aperture priority, but I might have had my exposure compensation dial kicked on a little bit because I was going to experiment with a mist filter. By the way, I did not use a mist filter. So when you see these photos and you think I did, I actually did not. I was going to, but I didn't. So anyway, let's get into it, and I'll check back with you at the end. God damn it, it's flopping all over the place. Oh, shit, did I turn it off? God damn it. Is it still recording? I can't tell if it's recording or not. Damn it. I can't tell if I'm recording or not. I'm trying a new audio. Okay, it's recording. I'm trying a new temporary audio solution because the audio was so bad in the last episode. That was just from the GoPro by itself that I really couldn't use the introduction that I shot. I am currently driving through Wallace. We just passed the rock quarry. I'm on my way to Valley Springs. I'm going to shoot at the River of Skulls nature trail out near Hogan Lake, and we're shooting Harman Phoenix II today. Now I started the roll yesterday. By the way, I'm shooting on my Canon Rebel 2 and 50mm 1.8 lens, and I shot the original Phoenix. Oh geez, I guess maybe November, I want to say. No, it wasn't that long ago. It might have been January. So I've shot that, really enjoyed that, but it is definitely not something I would shoot all the time. No way, no how. The orange color balance is cool, but it's not, you know, it's a selective thing. It's neat. It's like a lot of these other kind of alternative color profile film stocks that you see, you know, like Kono Delight and some of the other ones. I can't think of them all offhand, but anyway, Phoenix 2 apparently is a little bit more color balanced, a lot more blue to offset all that orange that they had in the original, but it does still have a different base than you normally have on color film. So yeah, so we'll talk about that a little bit more. Why don't we go to the workbench and show you a little bit around the camera, and then I'll catch up with you when I get to the location. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the Canon EOS Rebel 2. This is the second in the Rebel series, obviously. It came out in 1992, and this is pretty standard fare for a 90s automatic SLR. I mean, this is about as basic as it gets, given that all of these features were new, or relatively new at the time. I mean, in 1985, a lot of these would have been groundbreaking, but by 92 it was becoming pretty common. It's in a consumer-grade camera here. So I previously owned an Elan, an EOS Elan, and I would say that this is basically a stripped-down version of that camera. It's just got a few less bells and whistles, but it's the same essentials package here. You do not get the selector wheel on the back as you do with many Canon cameras, but and it's a single dial deal. But you do have all your standard aperture priority, shutter priority, full manual, obviously, and then you got your like portrait mode, landscape mode. I don't really mess with any of that other stuff. I don't think you can do bracketing with this. You do not have a flash on this model. There are variants of this camera that do have a flash. And that's kind of it, really. I mean, you know, you've got your AI servo metering by this point. And that's pretty cool, and autofocus is pretty good and pretty snappy, at least for something of this era. And that's basically it. And I just wanted to say a thank you to my friend Diana, because back in November, my poor Nikon N80 broke. I think I was actually trying to load that roll of Phoenix 200, actually. That's probably what killed my Nikon. The loading door broke. The locking mechanism snapped off trying to load that film into it. And so I went to go visit Diana, and since I didn't have my Nikon N80, I asked if I could borrow her this camera, and she basically said sure, and said, why don't you go ahead and borrow it since you don't have your Nikon. And eventually I just bought it from her. So thank you very much, Diana. I have been enjoying the hell out of this camera. So yeah, that's basically it. Not much else to say. It's pretty standard. I don't know why they called it the River of Skulls. Sounds pretty fantastic, though. Sounds like a 90s death metal album. But I think what's more interesting, though, is all of this rock over here. There is a rock quarry back in Wallace. We passed it on the way out here. Gotta get a picture of the no trespassing sign. Actually, I'm on manual. I should really be checking my exposure here. Or just put it on aperture. Screw it. There we go. Like I said, I started the roll yesterday out at Del Valle observation point near Livermore. That's a long way from here. Some ducks down there. The only thing about this is there's not an enormous amount of color. Although, I think I can get away with coming out a little bit further. That's a nice shot. But yeah, this rock is what's intriguing to me. I obviously can't get inside there, as the no trespassing sign will attest. I've been waiting for that vehicle to leave since I got here. Let's see what else is going on. Not much, it doesn't appear. We're like right in the middle of that spot at the beginning of spring where thankfully the allergens aren't kicking my ass yet. But we also don't have quite as much floral activity. Not that I would necessarily be seeing a lot with these particular trees and plants and what have you. But there's not a lot outside of green. And I think I want to see more than just green on this reel. Roll reel, whatever you want to say. Things do look very nice out here, though, I will say. But I don't know where the hiking trail is. I guess I'm on it. Somebody lost their headphones out here. I saw a box fan. Some tires down there. Well, I'm sure it's lovely, but I need to find some more color before I can call this good. I like that one shot underneath the bridge, or from the bridge, though. That will work for me. Always try to get some good variety per roll. I mean, that's kind of why I like shooting 35mm film and converting it to Instagram reels, is because it gives you a chance to do, you know, tell something of a story across your entire adventure. But that does also mean that it's time to call it up if you're like, I don't see anything else of interest here. Tastes like there's about 3 pounds of sugar in a 16-ounce cup, though. Anyway, I'm on I-5. I'm on my way to Sacramento. I'm going to hopefully finish my roll of Phoenix 202 today. I'm headed to a duck pond out there in the Park District. I've been out there for the rock. I've been out there to the rock garden. I was shooting some Kodacolor 100 out there a while back. So anyway, that is my plan to finish off this roll. It's kind of going to be one of the last times I'm able to do this for a little while, as far as going this far out of town. I mean, just on shooting this one roll, I've been to Livermore, I've been out to Valley Springs, and now I'm headed to Sacramento. And to get it developed, as soon as I'm done with this roll today, I gotta drive out to Stockton, which is another good little distance. So yeah, I don't really have a lot of gas money anymore, so this is probably gonna be it for a little while. I'm gonna have to keep it local after this. But anyway, we're headed out to the duck pond. I'm really hopeful that there's some color out there, because up to this point it's just been so much green. Speaking of green, it's St. Patrick's Day today, and I'm not wearing any. There's a green truck behind me. Hopefully that counts for something. Probably not. I'm back on the freeway. So that was a bust. That stupid duck pond was supposed to be a lily pond. It's supposed to have a bunch of like lily pads and lotuses and flowers everywhere. That thing wasn't shit. There was nothing there. It was just like this pitiful little lameoid man-made duck pond bullshit. And so that didn't work. So I'm just gonna head downtown and go hit up Riverwalk Park, which is right across from Old Sac. And I've never shot there before, so at least it's something I haven't done. Plus the other thing about all those ponds and whatnot.
In half a mile, use the third from the right lane to take exit 518 for US 50 West towards San Francisco.
Okay. So, shit, I guess. Oh, fuck me. Oh, you're not gonna let me in, you motherfucker. Fuck you. Okay. Anyway, what was I talking?
Use the third from the right lane to take exit 518. Then you'll take a slight left onto the US 50 West ramp to San Francisco.
Shut up. Okay. So anyway, so I'm headed to Riverwalk Park downtown. Yeah, plus the other problem is that it was just nothing but green out there, and that's been the story of this whole roll so far. It's just, I can't see.
Slight left onto the US 50 West ramp.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Continue on US 50 West for 1 mile.
Okay, can I talk now, please? Alright, I'm back on the freeway. Just got off I-5. Okay, well, I survived that. I didn't get to Waterfront Park. Well, I did get there, but I couldn't park anywhere. I had to get into a damn parking garage and just, oh my god. That's why they call this place Sacktown, because your fucking parking downtown sucks balls and dicks. But I did actually get to Old Sacramento, and you know, they wanted to charge me for the event because they're having the St. Patrick's Day parade today. But I was like, I'm only going to be here for like an hour, maybe. So the guy, that was one thing, nice thing I'll say. The guy gave me a ticket. It's like, hey, go down to this other garage and park down there. You only pay $4. So yeah, it's not all bad, I guess. But generally speaking, downtown Sacramento parking is stupid. Because for one thing, nobody takes fucking cash anywhere. I mean, I found the one fucking terminal in the whole parking garage that does take cash, but not until after I tried to get out of there, couldn't get out, had to back up from the gate, go back and find another parking space, go back up the escalator, pay for the stupid the ticket. That's the only one place apparently in all of downtown Sacramento that takes cash. Finally got out of there, and now I'm on my way to Stockton to get these photos developed. I tried to get some footage down there, but it was just too busy and I was too short on time. So I'm just I had to get down there, stroll around for a bit, take some shots, try to avoid people trying to get me to sign petitions for stuff. And yeah, it was actually pretty nice though. Funny thing though is that I was really focusing on color, and this whole time, you know, when I was shooting Phoenix II, I was like, man, there's just an overabundance of green. And now I wind up on St. Patrick's Day in downtown Sacramento during the St. Patrick's Day parade where everybody's wearing green. Well, not everybody, I wasn't obviously, but so I wound up kind of just embracing little pockets of green here and there. I decided that, I guess that's just going to be the theme of this roll. So it worked out all right. But yeah, I think overall, but yeah, the fucking parking was just ridiculous. I'm just sitting there like, fuck, nobody takes cash. I don't know how to operate these stupid, and everything's automated. You don't talk to anybody. I had to push a button to talk to somebody, and I'm like, you know, I don't mind paying for parking, but you know, you gotta give me some indication how this works. I don't fucking know this shit. How the fuck am I supposed to know? I'm a crack-ass country boy. You know, I don't know how the inner city works. Now look, I'm doing all this bitching and complaining. I'm sure there's plenty of cities that are worse, but I wouldn't fucking know. Shit. So anyway, now I got a long drive ahead of me because I'm going all the way to Stockton, and hopefully I can get there. It's already almost 3 o'clock, but I hope I can get there in time to drop off the film. And if I'm lucky, they might be able to do a quick develop for me, but I doubt it. I don't think All right, last update. I made it back, and I have to say, I think I can finally say that today and this whole roll have been a pretty solid success. I mean, we'll have to see the photos, but I'm pretty confident now. But also, this day just turned out to be a really good one. But nothing else today beats what I found at Ulmer's. Now, I shouldn't have been buying anything because I really don't have a lot of money. But there are some times when even if you know it's not like a smart purchase to make in the moment, you just have to do it because it's just too valuable to leave behind. You know you're not going to get another opportunity like that. So when I'm snooping around Ulmer's waiting for him to finish with the previous customer, I look in the cabinet. I look in the camera cabinet, and what do I find but an Olympus OM1. I'm going to hide the price tag for the moment because that's the best part of it. A working Olympus OM1. I might as well just go ahead and show you. For $40. 40 bucks out the door. I could not believe that when I saw it. I said, he must have just meant to put that on the lens and forgot the camera or something. But no, he was selling it for 40 bucks and it works. Now, there is a reason why he was selling it for $40, and that is because the viewfinder prism is the mirror part of the mirror backing on the viewfinder flap, or on the pentaprism flap that's in the camera, is flaking off. So when you look through the viewfinder, it does look like there's some crap in the actual viewfinder, and there does appear to be some fungus in the actual eyepiece too. So it does fuck with your composition, but for 40 bucks, I mean, for some bitch, if it gets any worse than that, I'll just zone focus the motherfucker, you know what I mean? I mean, I've worked with way fuckier viewfinders than this, and I just couldn't believe it. It does come with a lens, too. It's a 35 to 85. It's a Vivitar, so nothing spectacular. f2.8, and yeah, I mean, and it works. Everything on it is working perfectly fine. It's just that viewfinder is the whole reason he was selling it. So that just goes to show that you've got to sometimes just grab things, because if I was to leave it there, I would not. It would haunt me. It would just fucking haunt me. You know, have any idea how long I've wanted an OM1? This is one of the Holy Pentalogy. I mean, at one point, I wanted to collect all 5 of the Holy Pentalogy. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not, but it's basically, there's some dispute between Canon and Nikon fans as to which of their cameras belongs there. But for my money, I say it is the Canon AE1, the Nikon FM2, the OM1, the Minolta X700, and then finally, of course, you have the almighty Pentax K1000. Speaking of which, my Konica Auto Reflex A1000 that you saw in the first episode, if you watched that, I got that for $30. That didn't come with the lens, but it was in like mint condition. I've had it for a couple years now. It works amazingly well for 30 bucks, and it's, you know, basically a K1000 clone. So yeah, I mean, that's the main reason I haven't got a K1000, because I kind of already have one, just not made by Pentax. But fuck, man, an OM1 for 40 bucks with a lens. That's the kind of shit that you would find back in like 2010, 2012, something like that. These days, you do not find most film cameras, honestly, especially with a lens that's in working condition, for less than $150 to $200. I mean, it's really kind of crazy nowadays. I remember back when I first started getting into photography, well, maybe a few years in, because digital was taking over, you could get a film camera and a lens for like 15 bucks. Now it's 10 times that amount, you know? And film was a lot cheaper too, obviously. So it's kind of crazy, you know? It's just, you just have to try things when you see it. And that's why I just couldn't leave it. I was like, I kind of needed that $40, but I would not be able to stop thinking about it. And since I have to run back there tomorrow, I would spend this whole night just tormented. You know, I would be unable to stop thinking about it. I gotta have that OM1. God, I hope nobody buys it. But you never know. You also take a risk when you buy things that cheap too. I mean, I have a Pentax Spotmatic that I need to get repaired, and I knew I was taking a risk. I got that one for 60 bucks, but it had not been, there had been no
there had been no testing done to it or anything to know whether or not it needed repairs, and sure enough, the mirror locked up on me before I finished a single roll. I wasted like almost an entire roll of Ilfa color on that. But you know what? Who cares? At some point, I'm just going to get it repaired, and I really want that thing working because I want that. You know that, I don't know if you've seen them, the TT Artisan swirly bokeh, however the fuck you pronounce that stupid word, 75mm lens. I want that thing, and I want it badly. I think I could get an adapter. Hopefully I get to hang on to my Z6. I just got a Nikon Z6 about a month ago. I'm probably going to have to sell it, but I'm hoping I can find some way to avoid that. But it'd be cool to mount that on there and then also have it for the Spotmatic, and I could use it either way. That would be fucking fantastic. But, you know, just one other piece of the fucking goddamn puzzle. So, yeah, I am really pleased with how everything worked out today. I'm actually going to crack a fucking beer. I got a 12-pack in the back seat to celebrate. Not supposed to be drinking, but I don't give a shit because it's just been too good of a day, you know? I got an OM1. I'm just so stoked. I'm probably going to test it later, too. I might even have to make a video about that at some point, just testing it out. But I'm not going to use any expensive film. I'm just going to spool off, you know, probably 18 frames worth of that Kentmere 400 I got in bulk and test it that way. But anyway, I'm rambling. That's enough. Let's look at some photos. Fucking A.
All right, I hope you enjoyed those photos. This was a really fun experience in terms of shooting a roll of film. Obviously, I don't actually, this is just for show. It's just got the empty case inside. I taped it back together, but it was fun. It was a really fun experience shooting this. I went out to Del Valle Point in Livermore. I went out to Valley Springs, and I went out to Old Sac and actually got to shoot there on St. Patrick's Day. So that was a lot of fun. And as for the look of the film, and I'll talk more about the OM1 here in a second too. As for the look of the film, I like the first one better. I think that if you're going to have a really strong color cast that just finds its way into all pockets of the image, even where it doesn't really belong, I kind of feel like the orange is just a little bit more to my personal liking. This is basically the same thing as Phoenix 1, it's just got that blue cast instead of an orange cast. I also did notice that a lot of it, and I think it was just halation, but it did give a lot of color bloom and a lot of that soft focus look. So it's ironic that I was considering using a soft focus filter, a mist filter, and wound up not using it because it wound up basically looking like I shot the whole thing with a mist filter anyway. But I didn't. It was just the film. The film came out looking that way. And I also mentioned that it was a bit overexposed. Still can't figure out exactly why. I shot most of it at f8 and aperture priority. I do know that I had my exposure compensation turned on for a bit because I was going to use that mist filter, but I never actually took the mist filter. I never put it on the camera. I was just thinking about using it when I was going to go to that duck pond, but I never ended up going to the duck pond. So anyway, yeah, I actually had a lot of fun with this. Would I use Phoenix 2 again? I put it in the same category as the first one, except I would be much more likely to use the first one than this one, just based on personal preference. It is the same exact kind of idea. It's not something that you're going to use in place of, you know, a more traditional Kodak or Fuji or whatever kind of film that would give you a great balance of color. It's off. It's a creative film. It's going to have an off look to it. But it's cool. You know, I dug it. I think it's definitely got its charm. I will probably use it again, but yeah, I'm more likely to mess with Phoenix 1 again before this one. But I'm glad I checked it out. I should check out 120 as well, so I'll probably do that at some point. They don't sell it at Ulmer's though, so I have to either order it online or get it from Sacramento, so we'll see how that goes. And the way things are going right now, it'll be a long time before I do anything like that. One more note though on the OM1. I'm filming this outro and the intro couple days after the rest of the episodes, so I have in the meantime, while I was procrastinating on finishing this video, filmed an entire first impressions video with this camera. So that's basically all done. So you'll see that after this one, obviously, but you know, it's already all done. So I know that's going to be on the way. And then the next proper episode will be that compilation of unfinished episodes that I promised last time. So that'll be next, and then who knows after that? I really don't know. But yeah, that's all for now. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I will see you next time. Cheers. All right, finished up with the Petroflex, switched over to the Pentax. So now I'm just looking for Russ Meyer's grave. I think I found it on the map, but I'm not entirely sure, but I'm headed in that direction. Let's see.